In this video, we are going to use Canva to create a video. This is the same kind of video that you might want to create for your video blog in your web project. So to begin with, you're going to need to download the source files. You can download the source file zip. Keep in mind it's pretty big. It's about 200 megabytes in size, so it might take a little while to download, and you're obviously going to need space to extract it out onto your computer. Once you've extracted the files, if you look in the folder, you will see that there are 11 videos, there is an audio clip, and there are 2 graphic files, PNG graphic files. One of them is the title for the video, and the other one are the credits for the end of the video. Just a note, the credits and the title were created using Canva. Simply set up a blank page, and then went and found, in this case, it was a business card template, laid that in, and then modified it to contain the information that I wanted for the title and the credits. I set a custom size for them because I needed to match the aspect ratio of the video. These were set to 1920 by 1080 pixels, and you'll see that in a few minutes. Once you've downloaded everything, the next thing you need to do is open Canva. Once you've got Canva open and you're logged in, you can choose video from the options. From video, we want to go over here and just choose a blank video. Notice there are a number of different options if you want to do video for various social media platforms, Instagram Reels or TikTok, for example. All of the different proper templates are there, but we're going to be using the first one to create a blank video. And notice that the size is 1920 by 1080. That's the reason why I created the title graphics and the credit graphic to be that size. So I'll click on Create Blank. What this does is it opens up a canvas or a page just like it would for graphics. The only main difference is that you have a timeline across the bottom down here. Notice that it does put a first page in for you, and because it's a video, videos obviously have duration. So this first page is put in at 5 seconds, and it's obviously blank. So that's covered off downloading the files. It's covered off logging into Canva. It's covered off opening Canva and selecting a blank video, which is step number 3. The next step, of course, is you need the media in Canva in order for you to put it together and create your finished video. So you're going to need to upload the source video files that you downloaded previously. Now keep in mind, this could take some time depending on the speed of your upload link. Remember, it's about 200 megabytes worth of files. So that's a fair amount of data that's trying to go out of your computer system and be brought into Canva. To add the video files, obviously you're going to want to go back into Canva, go to Uploads. You can choose Upload Media, and then from Upload Media, you can open the folder and you can select all of the files. Now you can do them one at a time, or you can do them all at once. If you open them all at once, my recommendation would be go away, do something else, come back, check on it every once in a while. Wait until they are all fully uploaded before you carry on. Now I've already uploaded the files. You can see that my title is here. My credits are here. Under uploaded videos, here are all the video clips. And under audio, here's the audio clip that I need. One note about Canva is when you do upload video clips, it shows you a thumbnail, but it doesn't show you the name of the clip, which I find to be rather inconvenient. If you click on, hover over and then click on these little ellipses, you can actually see what the name of the file is. Now don't click on the actual file, it will put it onto the page for you. Instead, click on the little ellipses so that you can see what the name of the file is. When you're done, just click in some dead space to close that window. Now that all the media is uploaded, we can start to build our actual video. So in step number 5, it tells you to locate the title graphic, and I'm saying JPEG, it's actually a PNG. I'll correct that before I put it up for you guys to use, but look for the title graphic. So I'm going to go back to Canva, Images. Here's my title. Doesn't show you the name anyway. So select the title. Now, if you drag the title and simply put it over on the page, you'll notice you can position this anywhere you want. If you snap to an edge, it will make it full screen. I'm going to recommend that you drag everything down onto pages down here. So I'm going to drag this down onto this blank page. It will insert it onto the page. It'll fill the entire space up, and it will now be a 5-second long video clip. Next, we need to start to add the remaining video clips onto our timeline. Now, Canva's not the best video editing tool, obviously, on the market. It's sufficient, it's quick, it's dirty, it'll let you get the work done. Definitely, I can tell you there were some frustrating things about it as I was working through this exercise. But all in all, I managed to get the job done. The next step that I ask you to do is to take video clip number 1 and drag it onto the timeline. Now, Canva treats different video clips as different pages. One of the nice things about that is each video clip can be modified with graphics or other elements, and those elements can become part of the video clip. So you can do some really cool composite stuff, just like as if you were drawing a regular still photograph. You have animation options and other options that I'm not going to get into, but you could explore. Remembering that we don't know what the names are, I'm going to just go find clip number 1. I believe it's this one here, so I'll click on the ellipses, and yes, it is. It's clip 1. So I'll click and hold, and I'll drag that and put it on top of the plus. You'll notice I now have page 1 and page 2. Next, I will go find clip number 2, and I will drag and put that on top of the plus. Again, clip number 3, which is this one here, I will click and drag that on top of the plus. You can see that all of the, let me just stop the video here. You can see that they've all been put along the timeline as pages. There's a plus between them here. If you hover over them, you can see how long the clips are. You'll also notice that as I get towards the end, I get this little scroll bar. Unfortunately, as far as I can tell, there is no, I don't know what this is, a zoom. No, this just, I don't know exactly what the zoom does, but I think it affects this area up here. Unfortunately, there's no way to shrink this timeline as far as I can tell. There may be, I just haven't figured it out yet. So I'm going to have to keep scrolling this bar to the side so that I can see the plus, so that I can add the rest of the clips. This is clip number 4. I'll throw that on there. Scroll sideways. I believe this one, oh, it's clip 8. Let's see. The puddle is clip number 5. I will drag that and put it on the plus. Go over to the side. Which one is clip number 6? One of these ones. That's 7. This is 6. Drag this to the plus. Of course, drag to the side. This one, I believe, is 8, so that would make one of these two 7. This one here, drag that one onto the plus. Note that if you click on a graphic, it's going to actually insert itself in whatever active page there is. If you were to do this by accident, just click on the delete key right away to get rid of it. You don't want to have video on top of video, although it could be a cool effect if you wanted that. I've got this clip in here, so let's move on to the next one. I think that was clip number 8. So let's go to clip number 9, which is this one. Oh, why can't I get it down to my plus there? Bear with me for a second. Clip number 9. There we go. Clip number 10. Whoops, I need to scroll to the end. Clip number 10. And scroll to the end, and then lastly, clip number 11. Get my mouse right on top of that. Once I've got all those clips in place, the very last thing I'll do is I'll go back to images, and I will grab my end credits, and I will drag them right to the very end. My video now looks like it's 2 minutes and 24 seconds long, but all of my clips are in. Next thing I want to do is, if you actually scroll all the way back to the beginning, And if you click just after the play symbol, you can bring your playhead, which is this line and this little indicator. And you notice you can scroll forward and backwards using this into your video. So clicking here at the very beginning will always bring it back to the beginning. And you can click the play button to play your video and see what it looks like. Notice that it cuts into each video clip, which isn't particularly nice looking. What will be much nicer looking in this instance is going to be a transition or a fade between video clips, particularly between these two, because there's a bit of a color difference or lighting difference in them. So going back to the beginning of my video, if we take a look at the instructions, in step number 9 here, we're going to add transitions by clicking on the plus and choosing the transition icon. So I'll click on the first plus here. I will choose what looks like the letter D, which is the Add Transition button, and it brings up this transitions page. I will click on the dissolve transition, and you can hover over these and you can see what they will do or how they will work. But I want to choose dissolve. I'm not going to choose or change the length of the duration, although it is something that you can do. And because I don't want to have to do this over and over and over again, I want the same transition throughout my entire video. I'll actually click on Apply Between All Pages here. So I've now applied transitions to all pages. Notice that my video length has gone down just slightly after I've done that. Next step, now that I've added my transitions, I'm going to go and make an adjustment to my video a little bit. I just need to do this. I know this is I need to do this just based on working on this earlier. So I'm going to go all the way to the very end. I'm going to go to and click on my credits page. And what I want to do here is I actually want to extend the length of time that the credits are going to appear on screen. My title is okay. 5 seconds is long enough to read the title. But I want to provide a little bit more time for the credits to be read. I also want the video to be slightly longer. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stretch this out to, I believe, about 12 seconds. Let's see here. Let's see, that probably should do it. 12 seconds in length. Now, this will just stay on screen for, in this case, 11.9 seconds. Let me just see, maybe a little bit more, 12, just a little bit over 12. The instructions say 12, so wherever you can do, get it reasonably close. Now, if you play this video, sure, you've got transitions, it fades between the different items, very boring. It's very quiet. Nothing is happening here. So, of course, we want to have some audio added to this. This audio could be a narration track that you've created, which is telling a story or explaining something, and you can simply cut your video clips in with that. In this particular instance, it's going to be music. Now, if you do a narration and you want to illustrate your narration with stock images and stock video, my recommendation would be lay in your narration first, put your title in so that you know where that's going to be, and then find video clips that represent the things you're talking about in your narration and drag them into the timeline. So put your narration, your audio track in first. And by the way, you can do that by using the Record Yourself button if you choose, or you can record yourself on your phone or a different device right on your computer using a different tool and save that file and then drag and drop it into place. In this instance, we're going to take the existing audio file, and in this case, I put all the video in place first. Now I'm going to take the audio clip and just move my playhead back to the beginning, drag the audio clip in at the very beginning here of my video, and I'm going to scroll all the way and check and notice that it's not quite to the end. Now this is a problem. I've done this a number of times and it is shortening up my audio clip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my end track a little bit longer again. Let's see, it's 25 seconds or so long. So I want to get it extended a little bit further. You'll notice in the waveform here, you can see the sound tails off in the waveform. I want to be able to see that because that's the end of the actual music track. I'm going to go back to the beginning. And what I want to do now that I've extended the end, when I hover over this, it should show me that this is 2 minutes and 31 seconds. I'm going to try dragging that so it's here. It starts at the beginning of the first clip. And I want this to say 2 minutes and 31 seconds. When I go to the end, I should see that it fades out or tails out in the end here. So I haven't cropped or lost any of my audio. I can go back and shorten up my credits a little bit, bring it a little bit closer to the end of the audio track now that I've done that. So the instructions are pretty specific, but I've noticed that whenever I do this, it takes a little bit of manual tweaking in order to get it right. Now, if I actually go back to the beginning and press play, we should have some more interesting stuff happening because there's a soundtrack. So let's try.
I'm looking for him now all over. He's a hunting dog, all right. He keeps me hunting day and night. This is what I worry over. Say who puts the roving rover.
Okay, so we now have titles. We have credits, we have a bunch of video clips, we have some transitions. But the next thing I want to do, and this is something I noticed when I was putting this together originally, you'll notice we go from the brown field video here to the green grass video. And if I place my playhead here and start playing, actually if I place it just about here, and what I'm looking for is in this audio track, you can see this kind of burst of sound, and then there's a little bit of a blip right here. Let's listen to what it sounds like at this point.
Where's that doggone dog of mine?
So what you can see is that there seems to be a natural break or transition in the music track. What I'd like to try to do is use that audio cue to kind of help mask and allow the flow between our brown here and our green here. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to have to shorten up some of the video that occurs before this point. I want this brown to end pretty much at the same point where that boom goes. So if I go back here a little bit more and I play, I basically want it to end here. And if I look at the timer, it's about 38 seconds into the audio, 38 seconds into the video right now. So I want this green video to kind of start here and all the brown video to end. Now I did, when I created this exercise, make clip number 2 longer than it needs to be. If you actually watch clip number 2, you'll notice it has a really long, boring lead in and a really long, boring lead out and a little chunk in the middle where you actually see the dog. So here's what we're going to do. Remember what the waveform looks like down here. What we're going to do is we're going to trim some of the beginning and some of the end off this video. Now there are a couple of ways you can do it. It depends on the program. In Canva, if you click on this particular video clip, you'll notice that at the beginning and at the end, similar to the title, the credit slide at the end, there are these little trim bars. If you click, click and hold on the trim bar, you can drag it in, and I'm going to drag it in roughly, let's say 3 seconds. Now, if I go back, remember that bump is about here in the audio. We'll go back and we'll listen to it again. Right about there. So we need to shorten this up still just a little bit more. So I'm going to go back to this video, and this time what I'm going to do is drag it backwards a little bit. And what I'm watching for is I'm watching to see if I can get the gap between the two video clips to fall right over top of where I think that bump is in the audio track down here. So let's see what happens when we play it again.
Doggone dog of mine.
That's not too bad for a rough guess. Now, we of course want to make sure that our video transitions properly. Now remember, I purposely gave you a longer clip number 2 here because I knew I wanted you to edit it. So if you put your cursor back a little bit back for this first video clip, we can watch to see what it looks like.
What I worry over, say who puts the roving rover? My whistle's getting dry. It seems as if I hear that mongrel whine. I should.
That's not so bad. So there's not too much dead space before the dog is still back in the frame again. So I purposely put that extra long piece in so that you would have the opportunity to trim this section out, so that I could illustrate how you can work with trimming video, adjusting the length of video in order to match up to specific points in your audio track. So if this was a narration track, you might want to have a picture show up when you say a certain word. You can trim or adjust or move video clips based on that. Scrolling through, let's go back all the way to the very end and see what we've got. Looks like our end is still there, but you'll notice that we're missing the end of our audio, that tail out. So I'm going to go back to the credits. I'm going to extend them a little bit more again. I'm going to go back to my audio track. Notice it's stretched out properly now. It's got the whole length. So I just want to make sure that the music fades out properly at the end. And it doesn't matter if we have a little bit of blank space at the end of the video. We can make the video 2 minutes and what is it? It says 2 minutes and 37, say 2 minutes and 36, 2 minutes and 35 seconds long, something like that for the total length of the video. In and around there, that works good. Could be a little longer, it doesn't really matter. People will simply stop watching after they've read the credits in any case. But you don't want it to hang on for too long because it will make the video file even larger. So we really don't want that to happen either. Now that we've got all of these elements on the timeline, now that we've got our audio track in, transitions in, we've played around with some of the timing. Let's just make sure the timing still works here because I did make a bit of an adjustment at the end.
Bon dog of mine.
I still think that works. If you think that it needs a little adjustment, sorry, let's go back. If you think it still needs a little adjustment,
Bon dog of mine.
I think it's fine. You can go back to that second clip or any of the other clips and you can adjust them in and out to match things up exactly the way you want. So now that that's all been done, your video is finished. If you want to add words or titles to things, you can go to any of the pages. You can go to text. You can drag in the text that you want. And you can modify it. Keep in mind that that's going to stay on the screen for the entire page. What if you don't want the text to stay on the screen for the entire page? One other technique that, oops, I better go back and redo that again. That's one thing I noticed when you undo, it kills everything, which is really weird. So be careful with the undo button. I'm going to delete the text. Delete this entire text box. Let's say that you only want the text to appear in a portion of this video. I've just shown you how you can trim the beginning of the end, but another thing that you can do is you can actually split the video into parts. So if I go right into the very middle of this, move this arm right to the play head into the middle of this video, if I right click on the line, I can choose split. And that will actually split the video into 2 parts. Now, notice when I split it, I don't get a transition. That's okay, because if I play it,
Dog all right, he keeps me hunting day
get a
and
little
night.
bit of a glitch in there. It may not show up. That glitch may not happen after we render the video out. It could just be in the editor.
All right, he keeps me hunting day and night.
I would hope that that glitch doesn't happen if we render it out. But if we only wanted to have text on, say, this portion of the video or this portion of the video, I could split the text up. I don't believe this has the ability to have more than one video track, unfortunately. In a lot of other video editors, you have multiple layers of video, so you can actually layer titles on top of each other. And I can show you that in Adobe Rush in another video, or perhaps during class time if somebody asks. But that's effectively creating the video in Canva. Now, once your video is complete, of course, you need to render it out, get a local version of it that you can do with what you will. upload it to YouTube, load it to Instagram, depending on which template. In the case of the project, upload it to Microsoft Stream. To do that, you're going to click on the download button. You're going to decide how much of it you want to download. It's going to be everything. And you'll simply click on download. And you can choose different formats if you want. But of course it's a video, so you want MP4 video. It's what you should be choosing here. And then simply click on download, and it will take a while to download, but once it's been downloaded, it will be there on your computer that you can upload to another site. So that is the video exercise in a nutshell.